How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you about if we buy right now, why I don't think we're FOMOing in. I don't think we're at peak FOMO yet. And I think this is actually a pretty decent time to buy if you look at the risk to reward ratio over the last couple months. The cool thing, too, is I'm going to explain something that you can't probably know unless you work for an actual exchange in a certain department that I can see. So I'm going to tell you about that towards the end of the video, why we're not at FOMO, because I can see the new people coming in and how many people are signing up. We're not at FOMO. Let me explain a little bit later though. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe button, I appreciate that. There's a link down there to Choice. So if you haven't already signed up for Choice, if you think your crypto is going to be worth much more in the future, you should check out that link. There you can invest in cryptocurrencies and stocks in retirement accounts. So that's a really nice way of protecting yourself against some taxes that you're going to have to pay in the future. And when you sign up with the link underneath the video, you get $50 when you start funding your account. So that's a great way to start off your Bitcoin journey. And also, they will give you free sats daily with Blinko, which is a game that they have where they're trying to give away Bitcoin throughout the year. So definitely check that out underneath the video. Now, the other day, I actually bought a significant amount more Bitcoin than I was buying regularly with my DCA schedule. And someone in my Patreon said, hey, I feel the FOMO too. They said that they saw the price going up and they felt similar. Now, that got me thinking, are we actually FOMOing in if we buy right now? Because we were just at 37, 38,000 a couple weeks ago, honestly. And now we're at 47,000. We're structured to feel like we're FOMOing in if we're buying at a higher price. However, you have to remember that you have to relook at all the pros and cons of investing. And when there's new information that's provided, you have to change your outlook. And that's why I think that we are not FOMOing in if you buy right now. Don't let yourself think that, because things have drastically changed over the last couple weeks. Let me explain why. First of all, we had a full-on war, what we thought might result in the next world war, and that was just a month or two ago that started. Also, we didn't know what was going to come out of this. We didn't know how long it was going to last, if Russia was going to be able to take over. But now it looks like Ukraine's holding up really well. We're in peace talks, and it sounds like this might be ending soon. We also had record high inflation, and it was going to get worse because of this war, right? We might hit 10% inflation. There are worries about Fed rate hikes. Now, they've come out and said pretty clearly they're only going to raise by a quarter point or a half point unless something drastic needs to happen. But that has given the market some, I'd say, some sureness or some kind of level of certainty that we're not going to get rug pulled by the Fed. Now, the stock market has also returned in this time. We were in a crashed market for the NASDAQ, and now it's come up pretty quickly with a lot of stocks pumping up 20, 30, 50, 60% over the last couple weeks. At the same time, all this is happening, we have the exchange constantly drain off Bitcoin. This is a 3.5-year low for Bitcoin, and this just means that the liquid supply is continuously going down. At the same time, we're seeing other cryptos have something similar. Ethereum is just dropping off a cliff. There's barely anything on exchanges. And that's as the merge gets closer and closer to 2.0, which will actually make it deflationary. We also have companies that have never bought Bitcoin before, or projects that have never bought Bitcoin. They're buying billions of dollars. This is Luna that continuously buys 135 million, 125 million every day or two. So they're constantly adding more buy pressure, and this has worked out really well for the project, for Luna. They're at all-time highs, and they've done really well over the last couple months. While a lot of other cryptos were kind of sideways or negative, they did really well with this. So I think other projects will continue to do the same. They will copy Luna and start backing their projects with Bitcoin as well if they have the cash to do it. We also see that it's really working for their UST, for their total value locked. They continuously are going up, and they're at an all-time high for TVL at nearly $30 billion. Number 2, I believe, of everything on here. They're about to pass 30 billion, which is going to be a significant milestone. Their founder is so confident in their price going up that he bet $10 million over the next year that they will be at a higher price than they were recently. So all this positive stuff is happening in the crypto market and in the world, And that's what's pushing Bitcoin's price up. The important thing to remember too is Luna is going to continue to buy more and more Bitcoin. They have plans to buy about another $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in the short term and another $8.5 billion in the long term. At the same time that is happening, and they're buying spot Bitcoin. So it's pushing up the price. At the same time that's happening, Michael Saylor is also getting ready to buy a couple $100 million worth of Bitcoin. We have nation states that are starting to adopt. We have the government here starting to seem like they are taking a more bullish stance on crypto, or less stringent or less drastic stance against crypto. So all this stuff is happening, and we're seeing other countries too start to adopt, like Ukraine actually taking donations. We see auditing firms or accounting firms literally buying crypto and buying NFTs to help other people do that too. And we're right around tax time, so they've got to be getting ready for next year's taxes. So we might see people or these companies start to add crypto to their balance sheets. All this stuff has happened over the last month or two. So we're in a very different place than where we were when we were floating around 37,000 and we had all bearish indicators. So yes, I like buying on the dip. I was buying heavily as we fell down, but I'm also buying heavily because things have changed drastically. I think that we're in a much better place than we were just a month ago, 2 months ago. And I think the price is reflecting that. And people are trying to buy in before Do Kwon buys more. And we could always have a sell-off, right? We could always have things tip bearish because we're probably overbought short term. We are overbought short term, but long term, we still have a lot of good things happening throughout the rest of the year. Now, over the summer, maybe there's some people worried because of rates rising here in the US, and crypto has typically been a risk on asset. But if there's enough good news and enough buying, then we're going to combat that fear at the same time. And we can still be in a bull run, I think, throughout the rest of the year. So I don't think that if you're buying now, you're necessarily FOMOing in. It would have been great to buy at 35, 36,000, but we didn't know companies were going to be buying billions of Bitcoin and pushing up the rest of the market. We didn't know all these things would happen and clear up. So that's why I'm still a buyer today. I still think we're going to rise in the future. Now, again, I would wish that I had bought even more, and I was buying heavy, but I wish I bought even more when we were at 34, but sometimes things change. Your ideas update, your viewpoints and the knowledge that you have change over time. So don't feel bad if you're buying heavily now. Of course, there's more risk when you're buying at 47 than 35, but there's also a lot of good things on the way. I know from the back end, I can see how many people are signing up to exchanges. It's pretty low. Like, we're not at that FOMO point yet where new people are coming into the market, and we're not at that point either where we're so low that people are starting to buy for the first time. So everyone that's been in crypto over the last month or two is really happy, but it's not like people are funneling in to get into crypto because it's the next huge thing. Like, people that are normies, normal people that aren't buying crypto. We haven't gotten to that point yet, which is really interesting. So I think that's still coming. If we get to all-time highs, that's going to be a huge moment, and I think people will start FOMOing in. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video, though. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Check out Choice underneath the video. It will save you probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars throughout time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.